Alright guys, so I recently got a chance to check out this new indie horror comedy Cannibal Comedian, so let's talk about it. The movie is written and directed by Sean Heights, and it centers around Charlie, a cannibalistic serial killer that decides to take up stand-up comedy, therefore becoming the Cannibal Comedian. So normally movies like this aren't necessarily the ones that I'm drawn to, but the trailer looked pretty fun and I always like supporting independent film, especially horror, but at the end of the day I did kind of feel like maybe I wasn't the exact target demographic that this movie was seeking out. I didn't hate it by any means, but I also know how hard it is to make a movie, so I don't want to like completely rag on it either. Stand-up comedy is obviously a big part of this movie, but I did feel like it kind of leaned in more heavily into the humor as opposed to like the actual like horror of it all. But that isn't to say that the horror elements weren't good, because the practical effects when it comes to like the gore and stuff were actually pretty great. There's one scene specifically that involved somebody's toes getting chopped off that looked especially awesome. But at least for me personally, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of the slasher elements play in, especially because Charlie has a pretty cool look to him. There are definitely shades of Leatherface in here, but the stand-up comedy element definitely makes it feel a little more unique. And I think one of the movie's biggest positives is Aaron Prager's performance as Charlie. He definitely pulls off that like kind of creepy, sort of awkward persona. There were certain scenes where he kind of reminded me of Patrick Bateman, but yeah, he was great. Kind of going back to Leatherface though, the movie definitely kind of felt like it was an homage to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It really succeeded in like capturing that like gritty and like grimy look and feel. The desert setting definitely helped with that. The humor in the movie mainly consists of like cannibal puns, some of which didn't really always land with me, but there were a few instances where Charlie's on stage and he says one and he has like a physical prop in his hand to go with it, and I thought the dark comedy in those moments specifically was like really well done. The juxtaposition between his lighthearted demeanor and like the dark acts that he's committing worked especially well in those scenes, but I do just wish that there was a little more of that in the movie. I did also think that there could have been like a more clear path for the character to go on. I was kind of craving like a little more motive for like why he does the things that he does. He does kind of just be killing people, which is fine, but I do kind of wish that there was a little bit more to chew on. Pun intended. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a decent time. Like I said at the beginning, maybe I wasn't the exact target demographic for this, and that's fine. But I do appreciate the work that was put into it, and it does feel like the cast and crew had a fun time making it, so I gotta respect it. I'd probably give this like a 3 out of 5 stars. Again, there were some elements that really worked for me, but it did kind of feel like it was missing that little extra punch. Or should I say bite. It is currently streaming on Screambox, and you can also rent it on Amazon Prime, so I highly suggest checking out the trailer and seeing if it's something that you guys would be interested in. My one piece of advice though, definitely don't eat anything during this movie.